Hey, this is Vicious.
Hello, this is Louka, SOS.
And this is Ernest, aka Deth, aka Bakasai.
And this is the host of Hostess podcast.
And this is October 8th, slash 9th. Yeah, midnight.
It's midnight. There's a full moon. It's very pretty.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, to go over a quick introduction of ourselves, I mostly PC game.
You mostly PC game. I guess I console game. I don't really play a lot of console gaming right now, except for a handful. But if there was a Sega console, I guess I would be the Sega guy.
I do a little bit of everything.
Good.
Alright.
I want to say I do everything, but I don't have a PC.
Got the PC. Gamer laptop. You know, I don't really mess with the home PC anymore. Not home off enough to use it.
What is your background?
Oh, let's see.
Earnest Deth.
Started out with the Nintendo Entertainment System, as so many do. Had the Sega Genesis. Skipped out on a couple of Nintendo consoles. Wasn't able to get the Super Nintendo or the 64. But we had the PlayStation, PlayStation 2, GameCube, PS2, PS3. Skipped that on the Xbox. And
You never had an Xbox, right?
I had a 360 for a while, but it red ringed. And I didn't bother to replace it. I had a couple games on there that I missed, but it just...
So you never wanted to send it back to Microsoft?
It was a second-hand Xbox, and I didn't have a hold of the warranty. I didn't really know how that worked. Didn't try to research it, just kind of assumed it was fucked, you know?
Mine red ringed on me. I sent it back, no issues, because I still had the warranty. Yeah.
Yep, still holding on to the PS3 right now. Haven't moved up to the PS4 yet, but I plan to. Not gonna bother with the Xbone.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. If I was to buy any console, it's gonna be probably the Wii U, then the just because it's cheaper and there's a couple of games that are coming out on it that I'm gonna get, and the PlayStation. But I do not have any of those yet.
So, last time I talked to you, you were saying PS4, but now you're saying Wii U?
Yes.
You know, the Wii U and the PS4 are really comparable. I mean, I guess they're kind of going for different things. I'm not really interested in the Wii U just yet.
No?
With the exception of Smash, there's not really a lot on there
Bayonetta?
right now. I didn't play Bayonetta.
But you can.
I would play Bayonetta.
But you can.
I would play Bayonetta again because I heard they're re-releasing it with the release of Bayonetta 2. And maybe, you know, that'd be my opportunity to try. And I did love Devil May Cry and, you know, games like that, like Metal Gear Solid Revengeance or just Metal Gear Rising.
God of War?
Didn't play God of War. Which is it was funny because I had the PS2, but I couldn't.
That's so weird,
I could not see God of War as a Devil May Cry ripoff when it came out, and that image of it just kind of carried on throughout the future. It looked pretty good though.
So, it was really good.
John,
so hold on.
Anger.
So you like PlayStation, and I was a person who had a little thing against PlayStation because of what happened with Dreamcast. But when God of War came out, I had to have it because
what happened with
God of War.
Dreamcast?
Oh, you know, PS2 killed.
Because a lot of
Dreamcast.
people blame PS2 for killing Dreamcast, but.
There's a lot of things that was wrong with the Dreamcast, and there was a lot of things that was amazing with the Dreamcast.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that were amazinger with the PS2. Yeah. Oh, God.
I think it did too. But the only thing is,
it didn't deserve to be completely overshadowed by the PS2, which is what happened.
And that's the sad thing, is that Dreamcast had some of the best games of all time. Like, who doesn't remember Power Stone? Power Stone 2?
Jet Set Radio, Phantasy Star Online.
Phantasy Star Online. God, the starting of the MMOs for me.
Nobody's going to deny the PS2 or the Dreamcast was pretty great. Yeah. That really great roster, but
it didn't have a DVD player.
It wasn't the PS2.
What was I about to say? Wow. Oh, so yes, I had to have God of War because I am of
Greek.
I am Greek, so I knew that once I saw God of War, I had to have it, and I played through the first one. I liked it, And then I was done. I didn't really need more after that. I was satisfied.
I'm done.
But you were a PlayStation guy and you didn't play God of War.
Yeah.
And God of War is like a PlayStation
You know,
thing.
like I said.
Yeah, but
played a
then
little bit of
he
everything.
was happy with his Devil May Cry series that was happening on
Yeah,
PlayStation.
but I never looked at God of War as a
Devil May Cry ripoff.
yeah,
I know
or
it's
anything related. It was just
Third
had
person
similar
beat 'em
combat,
up.
but that's about as far as it went for me. It was more into the mythology in that world.
Yeah,
Sure.
but then
Separated that.
once you played them back to back, you knew that they were pretty much about the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Vicious, what is your background?
I played thousands of hours of StarCraft, Unreal Tournament, and Lineage 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's my background.
Mostly identify as PC gamer.
But
then.
your
Yeah.
beginnings are in Nintendo.
Yes, my beginnings started with renting a game and beating them in a weekend.
Wow. Never
And
really rented games a lot when I was a kid.
I fortunately was able to. I did that to over 100 games on the Nintendo and Super Nintendo era.
You owned a lot of games too, though.
It was not a lot.
I remember a lot of games.
I owned around 20 games. That's not a lot.
To me, it was.
Some kids.
So I guess yeah, my background is kind of piggybacking off of yours, I guess. Well, my background, I started my own, like separate from you. My background is coming from my brothers having a Sega for the sports games, and that being the beginning of me becoming a Sega person. As you know, you and Derek are more of a Nintendo people, but I incorporated that because I started coming over here and playing Nintendo, so that's part of my background as well.
Darren was a Nintendo person?
Darren was a Sega person. I'm talking about Derek, his
okay.
brother, who's also known as Bane. And yeah, but I guess I should mention those names are all in the Smash community.
Yeah,
So
speaking of
we've
the
all
Smash
played
community,
Smash Brothers.
yeah, that's how we kind of met just about everybody that we know and who's
That's
in
how
the
I've met-
hosts
that's
of
how I met
Hostess
Ernest.
and-
It's not an unfamiliar story, you know. Smash really brings people together.
Yeah.
And you make lifelong friends through that shit.
Yeah.
Smash and Wired Warfare specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great that Smash actually makes you think that you're better than everybody else because you can beat your friends at a game.
Oh yeah.
Just your friends and
That initial shock.
Just your local friends, but then
when
you
I
go
saw
to a
everybody
tournament
else who was on
and bring other people, and then you can't
beyond
beat
my level.
anybody.
That was
Right.
It opens up your
insane.
mind.
It really does, because then you actually become humble because you realize that you are nowhere near as good as the people that you.
As good as you thought you were.
As good as you thought you were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's one of the few games that brings a humbling experience.
Yeah. Your brother definitely helped bring on the pain.
Imagine growing up with him,
Yeah.
playing Mortal Kombat 2 with him.
Hey, you
With
know.
who, Derek?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Street Fighter 2. My hands bled because I learned how to do the fireball over an 8-hour period of time.
My brother definitely brought the pain throughout the years, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was his Sega Genesis growing up, of course, so when it came down to it, always was his Sega Genesis. Even if we shared a bedroom. It was his. It was his.
Is that why you're so comfortable with Player 2?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, you know, that's brothers, isn't it? Being
Yeah.
the younger brother is being Player 2.
Player 1 is
But
overrated.
Then you Luigi it up, and you wind up kicking ass anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Luigi.
Or you're Aaron and just become Luigi.
the best Luigi.
I got mad
Florida, at
respect
least.
for Luigi, being a kid brother and all, you know. He was the better one, man. Just playing
Oh, that's-
Super Mario
it
Brothers
was-
2, the American one. You could jump longer. He was the better one. He's always the better one.
I thought it was awesome that, I thought it was a different story on Mario 2. Do you know how that came to be?
Yeah. Well, not all the details, but I know that it was originally a random little game that some other person made, right?
Yeah, some Japanese
and,
Nintendo game.
It was an
supposed to be-
Indian game.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. It was an
Yeah.
Indian game.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, you're right.
That's where all the... That's where all
the toads were turbans, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Shy Guys were completely covered head to toe, and the little there was flying carpets and Egyptian gods, and I don't even know where that birdie came from.
Yeah, it turned out to be a pretty okay game.
I thought the game was fun as hell to play.
Yeah. You still always freak out when I had to grab the key and that mask would just turn on. It's like, okay,
Yes.
fuck.
How does something like that have Nintendo come along and be like, let's
just steal this game.
Because they've done that multiple times.
Yeah,
they've done that with Star Fox too.
It's probably easier back then. Maybe they knew they wouldn't sue or something.
No, they not only did they know that they wouldn't sue, that they knew that they couldn't sue in America.
Oh, there you go.
And that was the only market that mattered to them.
No, I think they incorporated that person, no? They went to that person. Like,
no,
let's use it?
they never did that. It was totally stolen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they went back later and compensated them.
Oh, of course.
Said, hey, thanks for writing our game.
Yeah. Turned out to be a pretty major hit, actually.
Yeah, it sold 35 million units.
And it's still being replicated.
Yeah.
Mario 3D World. Super Mario 3D World came out. It has the original 4 characters from that game as playable.
Yes.
So, Vicious, what have you been playing recently?
I have been playing SoulForge, Hearthstone, and Arcade.
But mostly
Still.
Arcade.
Yes. I have been having a lot of fun with Arcade. Whether it be scuba diving for treasure, scuba diving for trade packs to go from one continent to the next, or open seas PvP battles.
I'm doing backflips off rowboats.
So I jumped on someone's rowboat and we decided to go from one continent to the next. And he goes, "This will be a gold." So I've decided to backflip and we back.
We're back. What? We back.
All right, yeah, we're gonna.
We're not dinosaurs.
Here's what happened. We went inside.
You got tired of the outside.
So yeah, there's no more crickets, no more dogs.
I don't think crickets were hurt anyway.
Yeah, there was definitely crickets. You'll
hear
hear
them. I don't think.
No, you will hear them later. Anyway,
So
yeah, I was just saying I backflipped off of the little rowboat and turned invisible so that my friendlies could not even see me.
Excellent. All right.
Which is a weird concept to think about in an MMO where your friends are supposed to be your friends.
I like how many backflips you can do. I like backflipping.
Oh yeah, there's an entire spec in that game where you just do nothing but teleport and backflip.
Yes.
Anyway, on to the next point.
That's what you've been playing. What have you been playing recently, Ernest?
Of course, the new Smash.
Oh, you have? Oh, yeah.
Is that what you've been playing?
You know, I played a little bit of it, but on the 3DS.
At Ian's?
Yeah, exactly. Played Ian's 3DS and a couple other people's, just hanging around everybody that I know that has access to Smash and leeching off of them.
Why you no invite?
Well,
no,
when it comes out on Wii U, you won't get a Wii U at that time.
I don't care for the Wii U, not yet. Like maybe.
But you'll
if I
get a
was
3DS.
able to get a cheap one secondhand. 3DS, yeah, slightly more appealing. If anything, just because it's portable, I'd like to get with me.
So as we were talking about last time, Lucas has never played a Link game.
Zelda
yeah,
game.
Zelda.
So, yeah, I've never played a Zelda game. The reason is because, I just didn't grow up with them. I grew up with Sonic and Sega.
I didn't grow up with them either.
Yes, you did. You grew up with Nintendo.
That has nothing to do with it. I didn't actually play Zelda on Nintendo or Super Nintendo.
You played Zelda before.
I played it on the Game Boy.
There you go.
That was the soonest.
That's something to
Did you
grow up
have a
with.
Game Boy?
He didn't.
I did have a Game Boy. I did
did?
have a Game Boy, but I was playing not Tetris nonstop and Excite Bike.
Not Zelda stuff.
Not Zelda stuff. And Excite Bike and
I never
Mario
much
Land?
cared for the entirety of Zelda as well. Like I've mentioned to you before, I only had the original Legend of Zelda. I was able to play some of Link to the Past on a friend's Super Nintendo, but I never had a Super Nintendo. And I didn't have a 64 either, so I missed out on those as well. That was probably I was trying to play them on the GameCube versions on that, bonus disc release, but I just lost interest. And then I never picked it back up. None of the Zeldas that have come after that really piqued my interest.
Yeah, I think a lot of the interest that people have there, it goes back to, their childhood. It's instilled in them from the beginning. But I still feel like
nostalgia there.
But I still feel like the Zelda brand is strong. Like I respect it as a brand.
Of course.
And
the games do look good in their own right.
I am interested in picking up the Link Between Worlds whenever I eventually get a 3DS. That's like the first Zelda game that really grabbed me.
What if you're like me and don't really care about nostalgia?
Then that's who you are. You don't care about nostalgia.
I only care if the game is good itself. I don't care if the previous games are good.
Yeah, nostalgia can be good up to a certain point, but yeah, you definitely want a good game to play.
Like nostalgia is
right off the nostalgia. So
nostalgia is like a pre-establishment to a world.
It's
like I've already established this.
Yeah,
world,
you're established as a game maker because of what you've created before. That doesn't mean
I'm talking
that
about as a consumer though. You've already established yourself in that universe. You know what I mean? So like, this is familiar to me, and I'm comfortable with it. So
okay.
I know what to expect, and
I see what you're getting at now.
You know what I mean? Like if you have a favorite movie franchise and they make a sequel, you're like already
Die Hard.
Yes. Expendables.
Expendables. Oh god.
Star Wars.
Expendables has progressively gotten much worse.
Yes. I haven't seen.
The first one was the one to see.
I've seen the middle to the end of the first one. I haven't seen the whole first one. Just the middle to the end.
It's gonna be more of the same. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I want to see the second one.
The second one has all the jokes.
Okay, I want to see the second one because I like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
He's badass.
And it has Chuck Norris making a Chuck Norris joke.
Yeah, I want to see that.
That's worth seeing, I suppose.
I don't know if that's worth seeing, but it's definitely worth, maybe an hour before you go to sleep.
So you go to sleep.
So I have not been.
Have you been playing
much of anything? I've been playing a little indie game called Armillo, which I've explained on the Bit Blast podcast. That's just a little indie puzzler game. Yeah, it has a lot of platforming elements, but it's not considered a platformer. It's more a puzzle. It's like Mario Galaxy, and you're like on little planetoids, and you're an orange armadillo, and you roll around. So it's like a mix between Sonic, Super Monkey Ball, and Mario Galaxy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of multiplayer games, not just Smash, but one-player games haven't really been too much into, with the exception of having just finished the first and second season of Walking Dead, the Telltale's Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm on the last episode of Wolf Among Us, which has been pretty good so far, but I haven't really been able to relate to the main characters that much as I have to the two main characters of the Walking Dead series.
Mm-hmm.
But
Clementine.
Yeah, Clementine and Lee. Lee is such a boss, man. Mm-hmm. And Clementine's a boss too, but Lee was so.
Did you guys watch the Walking Dead TV series at all?
I watch it. I watch it constantly. Whenever a new episode's on, I watch it that night it comes on.
Really?
Yes, so I'm up to date.
I am up to date as well.
Yes.
I just recently watched all 4 seasons back to back, straight.
Well, our brother's been watching it.
And speaking of, it's about to air this Sunday.
Yes, it's actually starting up again.
Mm-hmm.
Into probably the most established season besides Breaking Bad's 5th season.
I'm just hoping that
everyone is going to be watching this show.
I'm just hoping there's a lot of gunfighting right away, considering what happened last episode.
No,
a lot of killing right away.
There's not going to be a lot of killing.
I want there to be.
There should be, but they have to fight their way out.
Or a random zombie horde to just.
No, they have to fight their way out because they have the enemy.
Oh yeah,
right now has
to fight their way out. Yes,
the enemy has complete control right now, and that's just the way that they have to see it. Do you know? Do you know how the way that they actually created the show. The maker actually put this as their first episode or first comic. Wrote an entire page on what he wants out of that comic. He wanted a comic about people put in impossible situations.
Yeah. That's it. I get that.
And people and trying to figure out as a writer how he would interpret himself in those situations.
Basically, how do people exist in the zombie apocalypse?
Right. Whether or not they're good or bad towards strangers and new people. And
Ernest?
No.
And I'm sure he actually gets it from the games.
Not read the comics either, but the games are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, they probably put that same thought into the games.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of pressure on you to just, I don't know, make a decision that will turn out bad either way.
Right.
So I have a question about those games. So I've never played one, so is it all about the story? And the gameplay is just make decisions?
Is it like a dating sim?
In that way, I
without
guess
the dating?
gameplay, there's
more
more
kills.
interaction than I suppose you're
Is it like a dating sim but with
dating sim.
killing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. There's the occasional quick time event, of course. Not really quick time.
So
you have to interact. You have to move around. You have to sometimes shoot down zombies.
it's a game in
kind
the
of
very,
relationship
it's
interface.
a video game in the very bare minimum sense of the word.
Yeah, it actually is.
Is that
it's an interactive story.
Yes, that's kind of what I had written down here about stories and so people. I don't know. I play games because of the gameplay, but I guess there's a handful of people or a group of people out there who can enjoy a game just by its story without any gameplay whatsoever. And this is a type of game like that. You would describe it like that.
I'd say that the gameplay that is there complements
It's
the story
secondary.
very well. It's good gameplay,
Which is
for
kind
what
of-
it is.
Kind of like Mass Effect,
Yeah,
where the story triumphs of everything.
but it really is a lot of story. It's mostly a decision-making game. There's a lot of
Okay, so that's where
puzzle
the
aspect
game
into
part
it.
comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a lot. It's conversation-led, so you have to pick what you say wisely, and then hope that kind of plays out for you. There's a lot of looking around rooms and putting things together before your eventual confrontation with zombies, where you'll actually have some sort of action.
Mhm.
But it's kind of a point-and-click sort of game at some points, where you have to explore a room and see if one thing goes with another. But yeah, just conversations is a huge part of the game, and I guess it's different from traditional gameplay, but
Yeah.
it's
So
still
you
a game
can't-
nevertheless.
You can't take the story of The Walking Dead and put it on a DVD or a movie and it would be the same experience.
It wouldn't,
Because
just
there's no decisions involved.
the decisions involved change the story. Tailors it to how you want to play, and your character kind of changes accordingly. You get to portray a different Lee or a different Clementine. Like my Clementine was always trying to, hold everybody together. Was really nice and trying to do the right thing. There's asshole Clementines out there that just mouth off at people and are smartasses, and it's awesome. To see other people playing the game and playing it so different from you. It's like, what are you doing?
Have you ever put into perspective? Have you
think-
watched
Go ahead.
someone on Twitch play that game then?
I've seen Ian play it on Twitch.
Really?
I've kind of piggybacked on a couple of decisions, knowing what would happen after guiding him a little bit. But usually he kind of plays on his own. And I've seen, unfortunately, playing it on YouTube, and him playing, reacting to some of the scenes. There is some tearjerker material in there. I was kinda glad to see him.
Did you
like
know
the rest of us.
who introduced me to PewDiePie? My 10-year-old cousin's kid.
Of course, he's got a young fan base.
I've actually seen
he's wicked
little
popular.
girls.
Yes, what, 40 million followers?
Yes,
I've
probably.
seen little girls drawing with chalk on the sidewalk. PewDiePie.
Oh God.
This is not good.
No, that's a good thing for us.
I mean,
For
they're still
us?
gaming it up.
For us in gaming in general. It really is.
He's silly, but
He's silly.
He has, what is it, Angry Orange? Is the second behind him?
Oh, I see. Yeah, the annoying orange. Yeah.
Yeah, the annoying
Oh,
orange.
yeah. And Fred, he got a TV show too. That annoying bastard. Although,
these are all people making over $1 million a year.
hey, more time too, man.
And through YouTube.
They're content creators, you know. They're really they're artists in their own way.
I'm just amazed at what we've come out with and how to make money using fans.
I just learned that you can make money through Twitch just like the other week.
Yeah.
I saw people like, I'm making money. Donate. Not even donate, but they get advertisers to...
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that because I didn't know much about Twitch, and then I started actually watching channels, and then I understood.
My favorite Twitch channel had a guy that, where he he's like, I don't want you to donate. I want you to buy something on Amazon, and some of that money's going to go to me. So in other words, you get something while I get something.
Yeah. Do the link goes through your profile.
Yeah, I've seen that too. But it actually had me thinking about games in general. So that seems to be a very core defining element of a video game, is that one person experiences it differently than another person.
Yeah, of course.
More or less as if the story is the same.
Yeah, and I've always been a fan of interactive stories. You know, like even when I was a kid, reading Goosebumps, I always loved those. Read Everywhere, You Choose Your Own Scare.
Every Halloween, I played the theme song. Goosebumps.
So that
the dog
coming up. Have to play it again.
Next part.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about so Steam and Origin. So I have an issue with Origin existing. Pretty much. Like EA wanted to jump on the bandwagon of Steam and make all their games exclusive to their program.
Have to rewrite
some people have an issue with it, some people don't. So I wanted to bring up the topic, like, does the PC community need multiple programs for games, or should there just be
programming platforms?
Or should there be just one ultimate Steam thing where you get all your games and not have to worry about downloading another gaming providing system?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy with Steam and perfectly happy with ignoring whatever is being released by EA. That's working out for me pretty great so far.
So I'm here's the thing. I really love what they did with Titanfall. Only thing as a game, they did really well with Titanfall. So
wouldn't it be better if it was just on Steam?
Better?
Like, wouldn't it be
honestly
more convenient?
I don't care where it's at, as long as it's easy to get.
True.
That's how I see it. As long as it is less buggy than Steam, and two,
Origin.
Yeah, as long as getting the game just straight up is less buggy than, or the same buggy as Steam.
I haven't encountered too many problems with the Steam software.
I did in the beginning. I'm one of the few that have like double zeros in the Steam account number, and that's a prestige for some people.
I do believe we've had it for a long time.
Yeah.
Recent PC gamer for me, that is. My brother's been on Steam a lot longer than me, but back in the day when it came to PC gaming, I was pretty much just using Wide Warfare's PCs. So
Everyone
I didn't have my own account.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Everyone was pissed off at Steam for even existing for a long time. It was like 4 years straight.
Everyone was loved. I remember that.
Dude, I do not recall any of this.
Yeah.
What year was this?
What year is this?
05, 06?
Yes, when CS Source came out. And a few years after that. Nobody wanted Steam.
Really?
And, yeah. And then until 1 year, I think it was 2008 or 9, when they came out with came out with indie packs along with winter and summer deals, and came up with a wish list.
All that, yeah.
Um,
Steam sales are
Was that the
definitely
beginning, you would say?
crazy advertising.
that's where they actually had a plan. It seemed like it didn't seem like they had a advertising plan before that.
Came together.
Yeah, and I think that all came together after they made the program livable, like to the point where it did not crash the gaming system. It did. There is a reason why I was kind of mad at it.
Over the years, I suppose you kind of your grandfathered into being pissed at it. A little
Right.
bit. But yeah, having signed on later, I haven't really experienced any of that. I
Right.
haven't experienced Origin at all. But I've seen complaints online, like
But-
Redditors complaining about their experiences with trying to get their games verified and having to deal with their terrible customer service.
Terrible customer service is going to come with every territory currently. Until something changes where American companies are required to have American customer service, that's not going to change.
I've never deal
Steam
with
is,
Steam's
American?
customer service, I suppose.
Isn't
I
it?
really haven't had to.
Here's the thing.
So that's a great thing.
Exactly. You haven't had to deal with them. Because everything that you've really wanted, you can get done with the live chat in 5 minutes if you need to. Origin doesn't do that. They force you to wait online for 40 minutes or talk to someone for 40 minutes. It takes forever for you to talk to someone, to get a hold of anybody there. That's the reason why Reddit's pissed at it.
And of course, just having to use it to get their EA games.
Right,
And complaining about the EA games.
Right. They're really good at complaining about EA. And I am not opposed to complaining about something worth complaining about. But, like SimCity, like Battlefield 3, 4,
Good games.
they were, okay, top-notch quality, yes. Were they buggy? Top-notch quality.
True that. It is a give and take, I guess.
Yeah.
You have to sacrifice.
You will have to sacrifice the first 3 months of that game, which I am not going to do ever again. I am never going to buy another Battlefield unless they fix it on day one. I am not going to buy a
So what you're saying is
pre-order.
you're not going to buy them on day
I'm not going to buy pre-order ever again from EA.
You're going to wait.
I'm getting pretty used to waiting on games after they've been released.
Yes, that's been my habit. I have not felt the need to buy day one on any games anymore. But Bayonetta, I think I'm going to get day one.
Bayonetta looks and feels like it would be one of the best games ever.
Yeah.
So I could see getting that day one.
The Phantom Pain is definitely going to be a day one purchase for me, but I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan, so that's all I've got going. Like everything else, I'll think
You
about.
just
Okay,
want to see that chick in tights go invisible.
Oh yes.
So I actually heard
Quiet.
Quiet. There we go. Quiet is. There's a lot more buzz about her than I really think is necessary.
Honestly, I like her.
Yeah, I like her too. Everybody's talking about how she's got the bikini top, and I'm like, first off, it's just a bikini top. I'm like, second off, did you guys play Metal Gear Solid 3? Because I'm pretty sure that's not new.
So why this game story takes place in the 80s?
Yeah, it's finally worked its way up to the
So
80s from the 70s.
The concept of using modern technology, is that just
There's a lot.
things that they decided to do and not really care about being accurate to
Being
80s?
accurate
Metal Gear
ever?
Solid has always had gadgets that have been like above the, current possible, like outlandish, like futuristic. Just
Like it actually made sense when it was in the future.
But there are some things that are still like true to time, like in Metal Gear Solid in 5, Snake is gonna have a Walkman. Like actually in Peace Walker, you got a Walkman. It's like one of the first model of Walkman that was released, and it was coinciding with the year that the game was taking place in. So it wasn't out of the normal possibilities for him to have one, even though it was basically super unlikely. It's like, hey, he has a Walkman, and I think that's gonna carry over. And in
No, I've seen little things like that.
Yeah.
But I also
But
have seen
is
the
just
luncher named turning invisible and flying around into helicopters.
there's
And
always been
smashing her.
there's also been a supernatural aspect to Metal Gear Solid as well. In Metal Gear Solid 3 was the guy who could control bees. and he made a Tommy gun out of bees to shoot bees at Snake. There's another guy who like jumped from tree to tree. Like there was one guy who was dead actually, and like he was just haunting Snake. No, it was just a dead guy. He was a ghost that used to be on the team.
Walking Dead?
The sniper guy was awesome. The end, you had to do a huge sniper battle with him and like fight him in this giant jungle. And actually, he was just really good at being camouflage, but actually didn't have any superpowers though. But the dead guy had to like walk through this this river and encounter everybody who had killed in the game up until then, and they like bumped into you as you were trying to walk down the river. Mm-hmm. It was pretty crazy, but like that was the entire boss battle.
That reminds me of Far Cry 3, which I just recently played. Yeah,
haven't played any of the Far Cries actually. Any of them.
The ending to Far Cry 3, you have to choose between killing off your friends or helping your friends escape and kill everybody else.
Well, yeah.
Cool. And so, Metal Gear Solid is another franchise that I have not played.
Yeah.
But the newest one has me wanting to start.
Well, there's going to be a lot of storyline in there.
Those two franchises doing that to me right now.
But no, you don't have to play them all because this is still taking part of the prequel. So all you would actually have to play is Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops if you want to get like the full experience. But I would just read a summary on that one because it's like as close as you come to canon without actually making any impact. Just like kind of discard it. And then Peace Walker. So Metal Gear Solid 3 and Peace Walker. Once you've played those two games, you'll be up to speed. Everything else is chronologically after the events of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Right.
So, yeah. I'm still actually playing Peace Walker, and I have Ground Zeroes for Metal Gear Solid, for the PS4, but I don't have a PS4.
But you have the
I have the game. Because I didn't want to get it for the PS3, which I have, because I knew I was going to get a PS4. But I still haven't gotten around to it yet.
That's something that's in the works?
Yeah, something in the financial works. Been able to play it off of my friend Orlando's or Oku's PS4.
You have a PC as well?
Yes.
And you can play games?
Yeah, I have a Lenovo Y410P. It's a pretty nice laptop.
So I heard that
dedicated
Metal Gear
graphics
Solid
card,
5
of course.
will come to PC at some point.
What is it?
I heard that
Metal Gear Solid 5?
Gear,
yeah. Probably still get the PS4. Just because I'm going to want to have a next-gen console, and I'm probably not going to get the Xbone. And like I said earlier, the Wii U has not really piqued my interest.
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, with Smash, I'm going to want it. You know.
Besides Bayonetta and Smash.
I
think that's the two that is enough for me. Well, and Splatoon.
No more Heroes 3. It would.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Have you played
Extreme G remake?
F-Zero. Just make an F-Zero at that point.
I just want to Falcon punch someone in an F-Zero game.
Ooh, it's a good idea.
If they came out with another Metroid,
F-Zero,
a 2D Metroid, 3D, of course, looking Metroid, but one that was 2D, like the Game Boy Advance game ones, where like Fusion or Zero Mission, something like that, I would play it. I've never been a fan of the Prime series.
No?
And no, I know that they're great games and everybody loves them. And I played a little bit of Prime. I rented it when it was new, and I even downloaded it and played a little bit in Dolphin on my laptop just to like kind of give it a second try, but still didn't really pick it up. I love the 2D Metroids. I love Super Metroid. I love Zero Mission and Fusion, and I guess I played a little bit of 2 for the Game Boy, but not enough. But I like the 2D style, Same with Castlevania, Metroidvania, I like those kind of games. First-person shooters not always been my main sort of interest.
I can sympathize with you on that one. I still appreciate Metroid Prime though. Like I feel like Metroid Prime, all 3 of them, have been the most immersive games for me. Like I felt like I was Samus in the world, and I still appreciate the classic Metroids. Like even though I come from a Sega background.
So neither one of you
Metroid
have actually played Modern Warfare 1?
No.
Nope. I played a little bit of Bad Company 2.
Bad Company 2 was amazing.
That's all I've played.
Alright, so I
as far as Battlefield
personally, first-person shooters, and you want a good story, go with Modern Warfare 1.
Metroid.
No. Possibly Metroid. I have not. I played the first half of that game and was disinterested.
I can't really think of a first-person shooter to recommend that's not Metroid right now. That I've played.
Unreal
Tournament.
I played a little Unreal Tournament. Played a little Half-Life 2 specifically. I actually did play Half-Life.
Ooh, Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead. Yeah.
Did you play that?
Mm-hmm. I have
Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 2.
Huh.
I guess I like the multiplayer aspect. I don't know those big first-person shooter releases like Halo or Battlefield or Call of Duty.
Do you know how Respawn Entertainment came into be? The guys that made Titanfall?
They used to do add-ons for, was it Counter-Strike or Team Fortress?
Neither. They were actually the entire group of people that made Modern Warfare 2.
Wait, are we talking about the same people? The people who did what?
For which game?
For Titanfall.
Oh, no. Okay, never mind. I thought you were talking about, I think they're called Turtle Rock from Left 4 Dead.
That sounds
They did
right.
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
And they kept doing add-ons for Left 4 Dead, and I think they also did a bunch of stuff for Steam right before Left 4 Dead, like add-ons for Team Fortress.
Titanfall looked pretty interesting, but I wound up not picking that one up after all. And everybody's playing Destiny now, which
Yeah,
is still
they are.
untouched.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
But Sturgis has, and so has the other guys on his podcast as well.
Is Destiny also on Origin, or is that Steam?
Don't know, actually.
Well, that's Activision, right? Activision and Bungie is Destiny.
I guess.
So then,
Yeah, no, it's Bungie.
It probably is
give me just a
as
second.
well, as well on Origin, I would assume. So yeah, I see where you're coming from on 2D Metroid. Like I do, there's something about classic games like that it's hard to translate into a 3D space. But I feel like when it comes to a first-person shooter, like Metroid Prime is as Metroid as it can be. Like it has so many Metroid elements
definitely.
for a first-person shooter.
It seemed pretty good from what I played. Just it wasn't enough to gain my interest. I preferred the other one.
Like I feel like my recommendation for the Metroid franchise would be to incorporate a third-person view to be a 3D game, but incorporate like a room that's specifically 2D.
Oh yeah, just like kind of throw it in there every now and again, but keep it 2D.
Yeah, they actually had a lot of rooms that were 2D for the Morph Ball in Metroid Prime. Like all three of them.
Yeah, I saw some rooms that looked like they were 2D in the Metroid that I totally avoided, the Team Ninja one. What was it?
Metroid Other M.
Other M, which, god damn it, I wanted to play that, and it looked good, but then I heard it was awful, and I heard that they made Samus out to just not be good at all.
To not be Samus, basically.
To not be Samus.
She wanted to follow orders some dude who didn't really respect her, and that doesn't come off as
behind that. Samus is just too awesome.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Destiny is not out on PC yet. That's what it says.
Oh yeah, it's not.
Oh.
We should have known that. I'm not
So,
thinking straight.
what will it be, does it say?
It does not say. In fact, there's no announcement at all for it yet.
Well then.
So I have no
Score
doubt
one
that
console gamers.
Yep.
yeah,
Score one. But
For now.
we have the better what is it called? Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yes.
Has that a release?
Yeah, that's already.
That's not out yet. That comes out.
Yeah.
I thought
I think it
was
comes out next month. I think.
Score 2. But when it
That's
does
only
come out,
temporary.
then you'll have the better Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, because people are already making mods for it so that it looks better.
Nice. Yeah, it'll of course be as simple as running it on a computer. That'll make it look better.
Yep. Thanks to Skyrim, we now seeing how good things can look.
Mhm.
Have either of you seen the new Skyrim mods?
Never played Skyrim.
Last one I saw was
Elder
Macho Man
Scrolls
Randy
in its
Savage.
entirety.
Dragon.
Like right as soon as Skyrim came out, They made here's sort of realistic type of mod, and then like 3 years later they're like, oh well, here's hyper realistic where everything looks like it's a photo. And only the top notch, the best computers can play the game. And everything is 4K, and the game is still super buggy because the game was always buggy on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only unfortunate part about Skyrim. Anyway.
So I plan on getting the PC at least by the beginning of next year, and Grand Theft Auto will be probably a thing I'll get along with Evolve.
Do you have a PC right now? Like
Nope,
any
I don't
sort
even
of
have any
laptop?
computer.
No, you don't
What
have
I
one?
use to be online is my Wiiu and Xbox and my phone.
I
I don't
got
have
it
a
bad,
computer.
man. I don't know how to get by without having at least a
I
laptop.
figured it out.
Are you gonna be making your own PC? You're gonna be...
Yeah, I'll be building it.
Ah, nice.
So,
You will be building it?
Well, I'll have help from you and
Okay.
Karen and Derek, but I'll do most of it.
Good stuff.
And David. David's going to help.
Be cool.
He's
learning
he knows a lot.
He
You
does.
have to get the full setup too: monitor, keyboard, mouse.
He keeps
So
up
I'm not
with
going
it.
to get a monitor. I'm going to use my
TV, plug it in HDMI.
flat screen TV.
You'll want to have at least a monitor to bring with you somewhere.
I mean,
I'll play
we're
on
not
the
exactly
tape,
running LAN parties anymore. What's he gonna need to bring his computer?
Bring my 3DS, which I plan on getting next month.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a nice smartphone, you could run a program to, what's the remote desktop?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
So Metroid, which I believe will eventually come to Wii U, and that would be
That would be
selling.
what would get me to buy a Wii U if there was a 2D Metroid. And Smash is going to be tempting, but I really just don't feel like I would want to pick up a Wii U just to get Smash. I'd probably just go to friends' places.
What if
that have
what if
Wii
there
Us
was
and play
no
it there.
what if there was no Smash and there was Metroid? What if Metroid was replacing Smash this year?
Just
Would it be
that
the same
game
situation? Yeah.
No,
So it needs to be at least 2 or 3.
2 of them. I can't
Yeah.
just pick up a console for one game, like I'm gonna do for Metal Gear Solid 5, which is the only exception to this rule because, man, Metal Gear Solid, it's so good. Got me to buy the PS3. Metal Gear Solid 4 is bundled. A superior PS3 too. They're backwards compatible ones, or at least the emulation.
So the 3DS then. That is something you don't currently have, but you do plan on getting that.
The new 3DS, which is slated to release in Japan in like a day or two, if it hasn't already. And then,
Wow, that was kind of fast.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Are they still 3D?
9? Yeah, it's 3DS.
It's back
and
to
they'll have the
3D is
3DS and the
Like you
the
have more angles to
3DS
do it from.
Nice.
XL. It's the same thing, but like some improvements in the hardware.
It's not holograms yet?
It's actually the 3D aspect of it has been improved a little bit. Now they
That's
have
what he said.
the eye tracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got the nub.
Yeah,
Yeah,
little C stick they
Yeah.
have now. It's
finally.
not called. Well, they call it the C
No,
stick,
it's all the C-stick.
but it's not a C stick. But it's called a C stick.
Yeah.
It doesn't
yeah.
have a C on it. And it's not yellow.
No, it's just a
And
nub.
it's not below the B,
Yeah.
which I'm used to.
It's everything that a C-stick isn't, but
Mhm.
it's still a C-stick. And
I miss the GameCube controller.
ZL and ZR buttons.
You notice nobody ever says, I miss the 64 controller?
Because it was a bad controller.
It was the first of its kind. Is why it was the beginning of what other controllers would be, and if, like the game
It was a bad beginning, and building off of it certainly helped a
It
lot.
was good for a dildo.
Yeah, it was good for kind of being like feeling like you're holding a gun for GoldenEye. which is
Yes!
about all I really played it. GoldenEye and Perfect Dark.
I
were the
played
games we played
hundreds of hours of those games.
So it's cool to
God.
feel like a gun, It's like, yeah, that's it. That's
It's a trigger. It's
yeah.
a trigger figure.
Yeah.
But then they recreated that in the Wii.
what? Oh, the
With
gun.
Yeah, there's a gun.
The gun.
Also, not bad, I can't dog on the Wii and the nunchuck, how they feel in the hand. I'd say the two best controls would probably be the GameCube control. Just control the way it feels in your hand, just kind of like all the curves. It's just so comfortable. And the classic DualShock 2.
I agree with that.
DualShock design.
The DualShocks have
They're perfect.
come a long way, and I'm really happy with that. And that's the main reason why I want to get a PlayStation. Is because their controllers were perfect, and why mess with perfection?
There you go. It's just they kind of mix up the.
I do not agree on the PlayStation controllers,
What?
unfortunately.
What?
I can acknowledge that they're a good design, but I don't agree with the parallel sticks next to each other. Like, my thumb feels uncomfortable below.
I've always preferred using a D-pad for most games over using a joystick.
Mm-hmm.
So when you kind of replace
Even
them
3D
like
games?
the Xbox controller.
Yes.
Sometimes 3D games. Usually.
I've told you about that.
You prefer the D-pad?
I prefer the D-pad always. And
That's strange.
the only time that I find, the only time that I would find that hindering is when I couldn't get as many options, as many angles as if I were using
Well, give
joystick.
me just a rundown of types of games you play. Just a quick, just name a few different types. First-person shooters.
God,
Fighting
Right?
games.
do you realize that I played nearly every kind of
What I'm
game?
talking about right now.
Well, right now he's playing a lot of PC games.
play
They
arcades?
don't take a lot of control.
You play a lot of first-person shooters.
Actually, before arcade, I played a lot of fighting games.
Yeah, fighting games.
Fighting games do require the D-pad.
They require the D-pad input's more precise for fighting games. You don't have to you don't have
I
to worry about if it's going to be registered as a down or as a down right.
Other than that, let's see. I played Far Cry PC games, Assassin's Creed.
Okay, Assassin's Creed is a good example. So, Assassin's Creed would be really awkward with D-pad.
It wouldn't really be.
I think. It's like games like that, or Mario is a platformer in 3Ds, you have to have a joystick to move around properly and feel comfortable.
Except I was using it on the PC.
You didn't have a Xbox controller, or
No.
you were just running it on your keyboard?
Yeah. Because that's how Assassin's Creed was.
You just did it.
I just downloaded it,
No.
and double-clicked it.
Even with using the joystick on the PS, PlayStation controller, really any of them with the parallel joysticks, it's still not bad. Like using
it's not.
Katamari Damacy, you have to use the left one to control the guy, and the right one kind of move around with the camera. Works fine,
No, I don't think that it's the horrible design. I agree that it's a good design controller. I just don't feel like it's perfection.
Yeah, you prefer to have the joystick where the D-pad is?
My perfect controller is, I go back and forth between GameCube and Xbox 360, and sometimes I say no, Dreamcast was better because
The Dreamcast is a terrible
I
controller.
know, but that's my bias kicking in.
Okay.
I have to acknowledge that.
Honestly,
The
the
Dreamcast
I-
controller, when you think of the GameCube,
the only thing that I would change on the DualShock is get rid of the right stick.
What, really?
Yeah, get rid
Right
of
stick? No, it's good.
You gotta have.
How are you going to
have
control
two
the camera?
sticks. You gotta have two sticks.
What? I'm
Unless
sorry,
you're gonna
but
bust out a Wiimote and control the camera that way. You gotta have a right stick.
I guess that would be better, wouldn't it?
Mhm.
Just have the right side as a Wiimote.
That was actually I was thinking about that.
You guys were talking about the PS Move, which was terrible.
Yes.
I don't know.
No, my idea was the next evolution of GameCube or Nintendo controllers should be what they have with the tablet. Only the right side breaks off and is Wiimote. And it has all the buttons. Two triggers, 4 buttons, and clickable joystick.
I'm ready for
Put
a
it back
pair
onto
of
the screen.
gloves to be the next
next
generation controller.
I agree.
I need
I came up with the thought of having a sphere and just holding it like this and then moving whatever you wanted around, which I meant, as an audio thing, you can't see what I'm doing.
Moving around with his hands.
But like,
he's pretending to hold a sphere.
Yeah, just hold the sphere, and you can move and kind of change what you're going to be doing depending on what you need. And that would be
a transformer.
Yes.
What does it transform into? Besides the sphere?
Wiimote.
Everything is going back to Wiimote.
Wiimote or DualShock, or just depending on what you need at the time. And I think that that's probably the best controller design I've thought up, and nobody's going to take it. It's
too out there?
It's too out there.
I think it's going to continue going what's already established. We'll see more.
I think the only way
rip-offs. And
yeah.
A Steam controller is not too shabby to me.
I really want to try the Steam controller because they're the only ones trying to innovate on it.
Man, I approve of some innovation. I like the tracking thing. Have you seen it?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think I have seen the new Steam controller with the Steam box.
Like, imagine an Xbox controller with 2 speakers, right, instead of any buttons or sticks.
Huh.
And then imagine that there's a stick where the D-pad should be, and 4 buttons where the other stick would be. So you control the camera with a motion tracker, and then you can control your movement with a motion tracker or the stick.
Interesting. I'd have to try it. I really would. That's kind of
My only
wild.
complaint is that they got rid of the touchscreen, which I thought would have been really cool. Because
Those-
Touchscreen would have made the controller too touchy. In other
No,
words,
it's not required. If you just have it there for certain things.
no, it would be terrible.
Nope.
It would be.
It
I
would
mean-
also make it more expensive.
Yeah.
It would, but I don't think that's an issue.
Something like the.
Well, it would change it from like $30 or $40 up to $60, and you probably would. I've yet to see anybody that would be willing to pay $60 for a controller.
Well, actually,
the
there
tablet
is
for the
$60
Wii.
controllers. There are certain controllers for Xbox and PlayStation
The
that come with a
tablet
charge
for Wii
pad
U
that are
is
$60.
there's a reason for that. There's a good damn controller, honestly, and
What
it
is-
has a
The
it
Wii
has
U
an
tablet.
HD center console.
No, actually, the Wii U controller is very good.
Yeah.
For what the Wii U does, it's very good, because I feel like the Wii U is designed for, not designed for, but it happens to cater to artists because of that screen. And I don't know if you've heard this before, but there's so many artists on Miiverse now that have been getting followings because of their drawings on Miiverse from that tablet.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's like kind of developed its own thing, and it's kind of by accident. And
Nice.
it's
Yeah.
a really cool place to be if you like to see drawings and stuff.
Not privy to that at all. Not having a Wii U. I had no idea.
And what's sad is that that would have been a great opportunity for watchdogs to take advantage of the tablet. But I'm having my doubts because Ubisoft has been saying lately that Watch Dogs will be the last mature game on the Wii U, and it's all because they think the mature games don't sell. Like their example was Assassin's Creed didn't sell, but the reason Assassin's Creed didn't sell is because it didn't have all the features that the other consoles had or
Gotcha.
PC. So my prediction is Watch Dogs probably won't have all the features that other versions of it had on the Wii U, and that's probably going to be a letdown.
Yeah, so.
What they should have done was
They
put-
said
their own prophecy.
that's going to be it for mature games on the Wii U. Like, is that fair?
The Wii U is just not really up to snuff, is it? I mean, there's
I
a
don't
reason
think
we
it's
have
not
to
the
like.
Wii U's fault. It's because they don't put all the effort to
They-
release the same game.
Well, no, they Lucas, you got to understand that it takes another $1 million for a full other team to reintegrate it to another system, especially one that's completely different than from the Xbox and PlayStation. If those two could be covered and get 3/4 of what you're going to be doing, what's the other quarter going to cost? They are okay with cutting their losses at that point in order to just get that game out.
Mm-hmm.
Which, personally, I think that's
But it's
a
not gonna
lazy,
sell. It's not
a
gonna
piece
sell.
of crap way of doing it.
Yes.
And I think that they need to put specific people into leadership positions to see that they need to put it on everything that they need to.
They make it the best it can be on each one.
Exactly.
It's quite the labor, you know. I mean, some games get that because they know that it'll sell enough, but not every game is worthy of that kind of treatment.
Now imagine if, what is it called?
Watchdogs?
Watchdogs. You instead of you doing the normal thing on the Wii U, you would be able to control a small gadget that nobody else could. Nobody could on the Xbox or the PlayStation, but it was a little small gadget that you could have it run around using just the controller.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool.
Or actually just use it as a phone. Click on your apps and stuff like you do in the game.
Yeah.
Use apps on your phone and everything.
Imagine they implement all of this and then they're right and it doesn't sell anyway. Just because the Wii U is owned by a bunch of kids.
Well, that's the thing about the Wii U right now. It's a I've heard people say it's a chicken or egg thing. It's like developers don't want to make games because they won't sell, and the reason they won't sell is because developers don't make games. So something has to give at some point. Someone has to either buy games that aren't the same quality as other systems, or developers have to make games without knowing if they're going to sell or not. Yeah.
I think that they should learn how to cater, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. They should cater to a certain audience, niche audience.
Right.
Since the Wii, and like, you know, just with the Wii U, the Wii has just been so drastically different from the way the Xbox 360 and the PS3 have been competing with their, multi-platform releases, usually just going through the two of them, and none of them hitting the Wii, and the Wii U, and now the Xbox One, PS4 are competing still, and they'll still get their multi-platform releases just between the two of them. The Wii is just, it's different, it's kind of Nintendo's doing its own thing, which is great, because it's awesome that, Nintendo is going to do great on their own. They have their own games they're going to make for their console, and the developers that want to focus on working on a Nintendo release are going to release probably their own games only for Wii U. But it's, the Xbox One and the PS4 are basically more comparable to PC games, and just what they're going for.
So that was my thoughts. If Xbox and PS3 and PS4 are basically, they're basically kind of in the same market as PC games, then why don't people get PCs? Because basically you get the best version of those games.
Because people need to put money into their PC in order for them to get the best version of the game.
If you're going to buy a $500 console, you might as well get a $600-700 PC at that point.
They don't see it that way.
It all comes down to exclusive titles.
Like, I see it that way, and that's the reason why I'm skipping out on PS4 and Xbox this generation.
But the normal console person is okay with spending $7,000 on their TV because that's what they play their games on.
You can get that TV and get a PC and play that.
PC is truly the master race, only by virtue of emulation. If you have a strong enough PC, you can emulate most old consoles and not need them. As far as PS4 versus Xbox versus Wii U, it comes down to exclusive titles. There are things that you can only play on each individual console. Then you have to kind of assess all of the games, each console for its library, and see which one and its features with whatever it can do for you. Just
whatever you really like. Actually,
PS4 is probably going to have the most games that I'm going to be interested in. I know it's going to have Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's already a great start. I can pick it up and I'll see that it'll have a lot of games, that maybe will be multi-platform, like Guilty Gear Xrd. It's going to come for Xbox as well. Then I play the PS4 version.
I think that's the majority.
Honestly, now that you told me that Wii U's not going to have any more mature games,
no, that's just for Ubisoft.
Same thing with actually Metal Gear Solid also going to be multi-platform.
Does that mean that they're not going to release any Assassin's Creed?
They've said that they won't release another Assassin's Creed on Wii U. And I'm pretty sure Assassin's Creed has sold at least acceptable amount on Wii U. from 3 and 4.
I was about to say, because 4 was phenomenal.
Well, yeah, I heard it sold well across all consoles.
And PC.
And PC, so for some reason they think it didn't sell good enough on Wii U. And Watch Dogs is going to be the last mature thing, which is a shame. So, yeah.
Well, who else is making mature things for the Wii U at this point, anyway?
Platinum Games,
Yep.
Bayonetta. What's the name of that? I don't know the name of the developer, but there's another Nintendo developer making Xenoblade Chronicles.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I guess
I did not play.
does Monster Hunter count as mature?
Yes.
Yes.
It definitely does.
Yeah, I mean,
Because it's really hard, and most kids are not going to be able to deal with that.
I
And
guess,
you're killing monsters.
yeah, you kill
Well, that's
monsters.
something that kids like.
Yeah, exactly. It's not exactly too bloody, you know. You're not brutally murdering monsters. You're not butchering them where they stand.
You're not climbing on top of them like
Oh, Shadow of the Colossus,
no,
God of War.
God of War,
Yeah.
and ripping them open from stomach to eye.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember that the Wii had, I think, the more mature versions of Manhunt. That the other consoles had the sensor.
Really?
And maybe it was Nintendo, maybe it was Xbox who had the uncut version of BMX Triple X, or sorry, it was the GameCube, I think.
Yeah, it's the GameCube that
Had
had
the uncut version.
uncut version.
Yeah. Nintendo doesn't always shy away from the explicit, although lately they've been touting the whole family console bullshit.
Again?
not lately.
I mean,
but
yeah.
That's Nintendo. That's
Yeah,
Wii.
that was the Wii, exactly. No, they tried to go back to the hardcore audience with the
their
Wii
slip
U,
up was that they
but
didn't.
they're still family oriented in just a little bit.
Their slip up with Wii U to me was they didn't go. They didn't embrace going back to the hardcore like 100%. They wanted to kind of get this middle
Yeah,
ground.
exactly.
Kind
They
of
wanted to get everybody
Yeah,
100%.
they were saying like, "Oh, we're coming back," but they
which
didn't
is
really
fine.
mean it.
Which it's fine to want everybody. It's fine to want to be like, we're gonna have a couple casual games to get all these casual people and we want or to respect our hardcore players, but they just I don't feel like they did it in the right way. Like they kind of
I don't
casually
think
went
they're
to the
really going
casuals.
to.
They casually
But
went
you're
to
right. I
hardcore.
think it's okay that they didn't, because that's just kind of what Nintendo is now. They're like the family console. you
Is
know?
it? Did
Kinda
they? Dark Souls. Is that coming to Wii?
That's not going to come to Wii U. Not that I heard of.
I think it should.
So I'd be okay with this.
If it did, I might actually pick up a Wii U.
Really? Yeah. My games for Wii U that I want is Splatoon. I want Xenoblade.
I haven't heard of Xenoblade. I've heard of. Looked pretty good.
I'll show you Splatoon later. It's a
Splatoon.
shooter. It's like a hybrid between well, it's not hybrid, but it's kind of like Grand Theft or Jet Set Radio style, like art style.
Nice.
But they spray they shoot ink at each other. And they can shoot ink on the walls and stuff. It's a shooter, and the whole point of it is to basically cover the entire arena with your ink before more than the enemy does, and you turn into a squid. Turn into a squid to swim in the ink.
Wow.
And then that's how you build up more ink, and then you jump out and turn into a human again, or a squid person, and shoot ink. So I'll show you that one later.
All right, I'll check that
I
out.
want that. I'm hoping a Metroid will be announced next year.
That'll probably be another prime type.
Probably.
There's an issue. Like, what else can they do? Like, why has it been 2 years now and we have like a handful of their franchises? Like, normally Nintendo has, we got this game, this franchise we've always had coming out. Like,
They've been putting
2
all
years
their
into a
efforts,
console,
I'm
they
sure,
have so many games normally.
into Smash. They got that, the
They got
Smash
Smash.
Finals release.
This year, they got
just the
Smash. It's
3DS
like,
one. They don't even have the Wii U version out yet.
Yeah.
That's probably been the entirety of their efforts. Just gotta don't fuck up the new Smash.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Some people have their complaints, but personally, I think it's still
If,
a solid effort.
If
Job well done. Another one out of the park, as usual.
I am excited for Smash though.
Yeah.
because we come from Smash background.
Yeah.
We really liked Melee. Brawl was a disappointment. And then we've gotten a
disappointment for most.
Yeah, you didn't.
I
You
didn't
still
hate,
liked it.
I still liked it.
I still like Brawl.
Yeah.
I
There were some complaints. John got the most complaints in for them nerfing Ganondorf and making him just nowhere near as good as he was. And of course running like he's contemplated. Like, he had that full on dash when it came to Melee, but now he's got that upright kind of like you gotta poop kind of run.
His whole model and animation in Brawl is off.
Yeah.
It doesn't look. It looks worse than Melee's. Like Melee's model looks better for some reason.
I mean, because it's just more Falcon-like, basically. Like they try to make him a little bit more.
It looks smoother, though.
He was a bit more like the Falcon, but it worked better for him. And then they try to give him a little bit more individuality. And
you don't mess with the Falcon.
No, Falcon's just man. They nerfed the Falcon too for Ball. That was another complaint, but.
Yeah.
I still got some fun out of it, even though they messed up my character Samus, and I had to switch over to Kirby. They made Kirby a little bit better in Brawl, and it was a solid
he needed
game.
it.
Yeah,
he really did need it.
After the treatment they gave him in Melee, considering how much of a beast he was in 64.
Yeah,
Kirby was a boss in 64.
Yeah. I even picked up Kirby in 64.
Yeah.
And I picked the red one.
Yeah.
And I called him Evil Kirby.
Yeah. I picked up. God, I wanted to be so good at King Kong and Donkey Kong. The first one, but he was terrible in the first two. The third one, he was pretty damn good. But I had a lot more fun as Diddy. So
that PJ.
I couldn't figure out how to have fun with him after Diddy, because Diddy, there's like 15,000 options with him.
Yeah, those bananas can get crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if I can take off 60% of your health with just a banana.
The banana mind game it's insane.
Well,
my friend Mark.
I feel like that's where Project M comes in and starts. It says, let's just balance everybody.
Yeah, but it's
I
not
really like
officially
Project M.
I like Project
It's
M.
not officially Nintendo, but I don't think that's...
It's pretty great for what it is. It really is. It's awesome for what it is. But I felt that I would just put all my effort into the new Smash. I still feel that'll be my intention.
I don't have any intention of not playing a new Smash, even though I really want to play more Project M whenever that new version comes out. Yeah. So my plan is to just enjoy both. Like I feel like I'm capable of enjoying both Project M and Smash 4.
Yeah, I get mixed signals sometimes, trying to go from one game to another. I'll play a lot of Samus and Melee, and then I'll try to play Brawl, and play my Brawl Samus, like my Melee Samus, and totally trip my shit out. Same thing with Kirby, I can't play both games at the same time, or else I'll try to pull something off like I will in a different game, and just, mess up the timing,
you can't cross
or
streams.
try to do a move and not have that one,
you can't
Kirby
cross
doing
your
his little
streams,
rolling spin. Yeah, crossing the streams. He turns into a fireball in one game, and does a spinning kick in another.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. But now that the new Smash is out, I can't look back. I'm gonna have to put
full throttle.
Smash. Full throttle forward.
I can't complain because I'll still play you because I'll be playing that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna just not play those games anymore or make a point not to. If they're on, I'm gonna pick up the controller. But as far as my efforts go, I'm not gonna try to be getting good at Project M.
But your past Melee experience will just carry over into it.
The Melee is a memory. I'm not practicing Melee. No. I haven't been for years.
It's kind of like riding a bike.
What skill I have now is what's left over from the golden days. Like that's just that's how it is. It's still a fun game, but I'm not getting any better at it.
No, I feel like it's like riding a bike. It's like after you play a little while into it, if you come back and you suck at the first couple matches, once you play for like an hour, you're like back to where you were before.
Yeah, it's still Wave Dash.
You don't plan on playing new Smash?
Not really, because everybody always has the gaming console, so the only time I'm going to be playing is when I go over somewhere.
You're not going to get a 3DS?
No.
Or a Wii U?
Nope.
Man, just completely missing out on Nintendo's latest stuff, huh?
Yeah. If I was to get anything, it would probably be a PlayStation 4.
But earlier you said Wii U.
I wanted one, but now that you told me that
Ubisoft doesn't want to release it.
one publisher just doesn't want to release anything like that.
I mean, they're still going to release Rayman.
Honestly, that doesn't really change my idea now, because I still want to play Bayonetta. I still want to play a lot of the other games. It's just not.
I recommend to you. I recommend Xenoblade.
I do too. I want to play that.
That's a game that you could really get into.
How closely tied the Xbox One and the PS4 are compared to PC? You consider one of the best combinations would just be the PC and Nintendo. You know, really anything plus Nintendo. Nintendo's anomaly, so
you're right. Because then I could just play the big games on PlayStation 4 on my PC.
Yeah.
So
you can be able to play Metal Gear Solid 5 on PC.
Yeah.
If you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's any PS4 exclusives in particular that you're interested in.
No. The only thing I'm thinking is the fighting game that I really like.
What, Guilty Gear? Which I think is,
The other one. That's the same as Guilty.
Blaze Blue. Yeah.
That one's my favorite. I like that.
I liked Blaze Blue alright, but Guilty Gear was just so much fucking cooler.
Is there a Blaze Blue going to come out on new consoles?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was just killing me that they were making Blaze Blue to Blaze Blue and not making another Guilty Gear. It's just like, come on, where is it? Like, make them DLC, anything. Just throw the characters in there, show them some love. How could you just abandon such a fucking awesome game? And now Zer's coming out.
That's because nobody ever bought it.
I bought it. But
there's a lot of people that I know. There's a lot of people that I know that bought that game.
Yeah.
I did not.
I bought a Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus off the PlayStation Network, so I have that now.
Was Guilty Gear on PlayStation 2?
Yeah, Guilty Gear X2.
That's what I had.
And like every game since X2 has just been built off of X2. Just like that.
Because they did really good at that game.
Yeah, X2 was the shit. X2 was the it was the Street Fighter 2 of Guilty Gear basically, and then they kept on, Turbo with Turbo HD,
Have you ever noticed that a lot of the 2s in franchises seem to be the best?
Yeah.
Like Street Fighter 2.
Mortal Kombat 2.
A lot of people say Sonic 2
Marvel's
is the
Capcom
best
2.
Oh god, yeah.
It's big.
I honestly thought that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was better.
I dropped it.
That's because it came out 10 years later.
That game did not take you for a ride.
Marvel Capcom 3 is great and all, but I was never too big into Marvel vs. Capcom because I can't handle the projectile game. It's just, it's too much. I like punching people, I don't want to have to throw fucking blasts at them and shoot them from across the screen and just like juggle, jumping up and down, shooting them with shit.
I'm with you, but I want to do that in a third-person game. I want to punch people and stab them with swords in a three-dimensional space.
Welcome to Arcade.
I like 3D fighters. Okay, I play a little Soul Calibur.
But that's still from the side view.
Okay.
Soul Calibur was amazing.
Yeah.
And I still love that game. That doesn't mean I'm the best at it, but
it's I'll play almost anything except for Virtua Fighter.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Why am I part of the niche group that loves Virtua Fighter?
Why indeed? That is the question.
Like, why is there a niche group for Virtua Fighter? What I'm trying to say is, why doesn't everyone love Virtua Fighter?
Because it's not
because Virtua Fighter is boring as shit.
Thank you.
Virtua Fighter is awesome. There's nothing boring about it.
Virtua Fighter is too
If
deep
you didn't memorize their ridiculous combos, then you died. That's how that went. There was no thought into, okay, well, maybe if I squeeze this little move, it should do this. No! And you had to memorize entire things before you could do them.
You have to memorize certain moves, and then you have to memorize how those moves go into other moves.
That's exactly what I just said.
Then you have to memorize how those moves could go into even other moves.
Exactly what I just said.
Are you posing this like it's a good thing?
It is a good thing.
Because it's not.
That's learning the game.
No, it's like, imagine if Tekken forced you to do every single combo specifically how you do it. I mean, there was combos like that in Tekken, but there wasn't. Most of the combos were improvised in that game because then you had to force your opponent to open up in some way.
So I think what you're trying to say is there's no room for creativity in how you fight in Virtua Fighter. But my point is, once you learn the moves and how they go in other moves, that's when the creativity starts. It's like way down the rabbit hole, so to speak. Once you learn the character almost in its entirety, that's when creativity blossoms in Virtua Fighter.
So once you've become the blacksmith, that's when you can learn how to use metal in a different way.
It's kind of like the end game.
I can't do it, man. I can't.
It takes a lot of dedication. So I understand that people don't have the time. Like I haven't been playing.
I had the time. You realize how much time I had playing? I could have played virtual.
Well, it's not just about
Fighter.
Time, it's also the patience. You
Yeah.
have the time and the patience and the dedication to get into it. And then once you do that,
then
Then
you
it
can
opens
play
up-
with you and Neo and Brother Kill.
You can play with me right now.
20
I'm
other
not good.
people in the world.
you can play with me right now because I'm not
Anger.
very good. But it'll be a while.
can-
before
I
can
would
take
much
on.
rather play virtual
I think
on.
that's everyone in
Oh,
Florida.
virtual.
I think I've listed everyone who plays Virtua Fighter just now.
Me,
Brother Kill,
Anger.
John, and my friend's brother Jeff. Oh, and I guess Frankie Agami, who plays everything. I think.
Is there something similar about people who like Virtua Fighter? Do they all have something in them?
They're Sega
They're
fans.
Sega fans.
Yeah,
They're all masochists.
yeah, that too. I guess John's more of a Nintendo fanboy, but
Yeah,
he,
that
just
is
li-
weird.
he
loves
does like
Virtua
Sega games. I guess he likes Virtua Fighter enough.
You and Sega are a thing.
I had my brother had a Sega Genesis. I love the Sega Genesis. I even liked the Dreamcast, although we didn't have one. It was cool, and I wanted one so badly.
Why did you get one? It's your fault that it died.
Because we got the PS2. That's why. It was so much
Oh,
better.
there it is again.
We had the PlayStation, and then when the Dreamcast came out, we weren't able to get another console until the PS2 came out, and that was like, alright, we need to make the jump from the PS1 to the PS2. Just have to. And, oh god, I don't regret it one bit. But,
I remember getting PS2 the first day it came out because someone left the line
wow.
for and invited me in.
And what, you were the cut in line or
Yeah,
something?
I cut in line because someone else wanted to leave the line.
Nice.
What was your first game? Tekken?
No,
No.
it was Gran Turismo.
The bouncer?
Okay. For some reason, I just remember a lot of Tekken when you got PS2.
Yes, that was the second game.
Which
I
is,
think it was Tekken
which
Tag.
is the enemy of
Yeah,
Virtua
probably
Fighter.
was Tag. It's
Tekken Tag
2.
was great.
Tekken 2
great.
and 3 were PlayStation 1.
I still played a lot of Dreamcast during that era. Someone would bring it over.
You had a Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, I did, didn't I?
Mhm.
Or they brought over. Oh no, I bought that game too. It was Power Stone and Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Sure.
I played hundreds of hours of that, just leaving it on. Gonna take you for a
I played a lot of I played some
yeah.
Sonic DX and like Sonic the Sonic Mega Collection for the GameCube. And I played a little bit of Space Channel 5. I like
What's wrong
the-
with that?
Yeah, Sega's alright.
And then you have they have little weird games here and there.
Yeah. And,
Parappa?
what was that one with like the mouse or like the rat or is it the cat chasing the mouse? And, like a puzzle.
Choo Choo Rocket.
Choo Choo Rocket. I played a little Choo Choo Rocket.
Parappa the Rat.
The Parappa the Rocket.
That was
That
the
was
Sega.
that was PlayStation.
That's PlayStation All Stars.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Little
Battle
Devils.
Royale.
That's that little W side.
Anyway,
They're out of
enough
the game
nostalgia.
now.
What are we on next?
Oh, I wanted to. So I just brought up Sega, so I wanted to say, what has Sega been up to?
Nothing. Sega's been up to Bayonetta, I guess.
Did they make
Really?
Bayonetta?
They produced the first one and semi-co-producing with Nintendo on this one.
So they just sent over one guy and said, "Yeah, that's good enough."
Yeah, they're like, all right, you can have this, friend. You can have this IP, and we'll just have our name on the box, I guess. I don't even know if the name is on
Leave
She's
it.
still collecting rings.
Leave it, developer.
Bayonetta.
She's collecting Halos, which is
Oh,
funny.
Halos. Okay,
I
that's
wish
what they're
they-
calling them.
I wish they put a Sonic costume on her. Because they have a Samus costume and Peach.
Actually, that reminds me. They had the Sonic costume in Monster Hunter now.
for one of
Yeah.
your
And I haven't been interested.
felines.
I wasn't interested in Monster Hunter, and then I saw that. And I was like, maybe
Well-
I should get that game.
Well, maybe not
Monster Hunter is huge in Japan.
Yeah.
The thing about Monster Hunter
It's
is,
addictive.
I see it seems similar to PSO, possibly in terms of combat.
It's a little similar. I played some PSO.
So I would really like to just prefer to play PSO,
Yeah.
not the original, but the newer one.
True.
PSO
Yeah,
2.
I played the PSP releases for both. I played a lot of Monster Hunter for Unite, the PSP. I was really into that, and one of my friends was playing whatever the Phantasy Star game was on the PSP.
Phantasy Star Infinity
Yeah, and
or Phantasy Star Universe. Oh,
it might have been Universe, but whichever one was on the PSP, I played a little bit of, and it was all right. But I preferred Monster Hunter. But
Some people are Monster Hunter guys. Some people are in Space Elf guys.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was pretty anime.
I don't really have much else for next. Indies. Indies are becoming a thing,
Yeah.
I believe.
John,
I feel like, okay, so a lot of people have said this, but indies basically take that spot that B developers used to have. So,
yeah.
Sort of.
So that's kind of like where Sega went. Sega had a lot of those B quality games, like Virtual Fighter. Or not Virtual On, I mean.
Yeah,
And
Virtual On,
little niche games like that, and a lot of developers made games that didn't have to be AAA, but they still were on the market and they sold here and there, and they just survived that way. They went away, and kind of indies took their place.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, indie's pretty broad umbrella, you know. Like, there's a lot of games that could have a good amount of funding and a big team behind them that still qualify as indie.
Yeah, but
a small team is indie, one guy is indie, you know.
Riot Games was indie at one point.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hard to define. It's hard to...
Yeah, I mean...
Well, no,
at the
they're
very least-
indie until they make it
Rather,
big.
at the most, it still has to be a small team. If it's beyond a small team of people working on this game, then it's not an indie game.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean, small team still
Would you
working on
still
Minecraft.
consider that
Minecraft started
indie?
as an indie game.
It is
but
not
no
an indie game anymore.
anymore, but it started as an indie game.
Mhm.
It
They started as one guy making a game.
Yeah, that was it. It was impressive. And then he got himself a little team. I'm not sure how much of the Minecraft team was there super early on, but he's had a team for quite some time.
Oh, he had a team the first year.
Yeah.
He had a small team. It was like 5 people, and then it jumped to 10.
Yeah.
He was up to 20, and now he sold it at 20.
So I find myself gravitating more towards indies than many other games,
Me
because
too.
that's kind of filling my own
Oh.
Sega niche.
There's a lot of
games.
indie games out there that are interesting to me, and a lot of them that can be picked up and put down, which really fits in with how I already play
Hey,
games.
that's my Assassin's Creed role right there.
Pick up and put down.
Pick it up and put down, and good enough.
I'm going to be a pirate. I'm done.
I've got a couple.
I have the
multiplayer
top-notch.
games,
Yeah, I have every single thing that I would want on my ship. I'm happy. Done.
like Nidhogg or Samurai Gun. I've been
Nidhogg.
playing.
Nidhogg and Samurai Gun are absolutely fun as hell to play.
Yeah, I've been playing the hell out of them.
The thing is that they're like games, you can't play them for hours and hours. You can play them.
Well, you
you can play them
can.
for
Some
multiple
people said
hours,
that.
but within certain sections.
Yes.
You get the people on World of Warcraft. I think that's still a thing where they'll waste weeks on there.
Mhm.
They do that still. Yes.
Yeah. But nah, that's not me. I don't have the time or the interest
Patience.
to or the patience to just kind of lay hours into a game anymore. So I'll pick them up. I'll probably play. Hopefully competitively. I'm still loving social gaming. Still loving playing with friends.
Yeah.
In the
important.
same room if possible.
Whereas me picking up Kerbal Space Program
Yeah.
makes me the most alone person in the world.
And apparently you're
So-
trying to escape that world.
Because for like 3 weeks straight, I didn't see anybody because I was so into this one-player game.
Or conversate with anyone.
Because I was just so into it. It was just like,
Someone's like, "What's Vicious been up to?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going to space. I'm trying to get out of here for science."
That's, like I said with the Walking Dead games, or the Telltale games, because I'm on there's the Wolf Among Us now. Those, I don't play a lot of one-player games, but those definitely kind of brought me down back to the one-player experience. That and the Stanley Parable, which was great for single run-throughs. You could play that game in 25 minutes.
I wonder if you would like Kerbal Space Program.
I haven't played it.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah,
afterwards.
just I don't know. It's like some weird kind of Rayman-looking dudes that you're trying to take off on a rocket off of Earth.
You are
I've
given
heard
the
it's
most.
a real physics engine.
Yeah, they basically try to emulate our physics equations, but using the in-game.
Engine?
No, the in-game sizes. The size of Kerbin is 1/3 the size of Earth, and has about the same amount of atmosphere relative to the size of the Earth. And it has a moon about the same size, 1/3 the size of our moon. It has a moon further out from that that's even smaller, so you can land on it easier. And it just keeps on going until, like, yes, there's this one gas giant that you will never escape from. And there's this tiny little rock that has no atmosphere whatsoever out here in the middle of nowhere. That type of thing where you could... They also just recently added in the ability to randomly spawn asteroids. So you can actually bring them into orbit and to study them in orbit, or bring them into your area.
Sounds kind of boring. I don't know, man. It's study asteroids.
As in, well, they when I say study asteroids, what I mean by that is they just go up there and push a button and it's done. So in other words, it's not like you actually have to get out.
No. Okay. Alright.
You actually have to look at it.
I have to try it. I think is what I'd have to actually do. I'd have to try playing this game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound.
It doesn't.
I don't know if you sold me.
The fun part is actually doing things that you didn't think that you would be able to do.
Sure.
So it's like you start off real humbly, like you start off with a quest to go 5,000 meters up. Okay. All right, now go 10,000. All right, now let's see what happens when you get outside of the You go outside into orbit. Now try to actually complete the orbit, and then at that point you figure out.
Predict the oncoming planet who's coming into its own orbit.
Yes.
And trying to measure. Yeah, so you do that.
And you kind of figure out that there is no achievements in this game. So what you're trying to do is just do things that you've never done before.
Has to be shown.
It's not even something that can be shown because it's not. It's like. It's just imagine. Just okay. Instead of doing a move or figuring out a move through reading the actual move list in a fighting game, instead you create the move from beginning to end. That's how it feels when you do it.
Yeah. All right.
So.
A lot of building, right?
Huh?
Lots of building.
Lots of building. Lots of failure. If you're okay with shaking a rocket to pieces hundreds of times, you should at least try the game.
So that's an indie game,
sort of
right?
aspect to it.
It is an indie
I felt
game?
that a little bit with Minecraft. I think I'll build myself a castle. There's no real thing to do, or at least when I was playing Minecraft, I didn't really have like achievements and last boss with the Ender Dragon now.
but back when it was just, it still, I think it's still technically beta, or no, it's released now.
It's released, and
yeah,
it's
so
even on
it's
the.
been released.
It's on my iPad,
Exactly. I have it on my
Released again.
Android as well.
It's been released so many times. It's gonna be released again on
When
PS4.
it was sold, there was nothing. There's like just explore. You have to fight some zombies when you encounter them, but outside of that, just open world and do whatever and build what you want.
They just recently added in destructible environments in Kerbal Space Program. So, like, the asteroid that I was talking about, you can actually bring it down and destroy everything that's in the little city that you are in.
Cool.
It sounds evil.
Did you guys ever play, what was it? Roller Coaster
Tycoon?
Yeah.
No.
No? Roller Coaster Tycoon?
It was before.
That was my concentration.
It was before.
Before what?
It was before I could actually concentrate on games.
It
was like before that, the only thing I could concentrate on was Ogre Battle.
What?
In other words, it was my only other concentration game.
I see.
Like something that I could pick up and then play it for like 4.5 hours and then put it down.
They I don't know, if you guys are familiar with the concept, just build your own theme park. And you had a lot of, free reign when it came to the land. Like you can, raise up water and have like a little island area. And it just, all you needed was a lot of money. But I used to know some codes, so I would just put in like infinite money basically and just build whatever theme park I wanted.
So you would have one where the roller coaster would start at one end but end at another, and then make it so that ending had no exit.
Yeah, Mr. Bones' Wild Ride.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't do that actually. But seeing that just kind of brought back memories of like how you would mistreat these guys, because you were able to read the mind of every customer at your theme park. And so you were, supposed to use that as feedback, but like a lot of people would, say shit like, I want to go home, or this food tastes terrible, or, whatever. Like, I want to get off Mr. Bones' Wild Ride. But you can't. But I would take anybody who would complain, and I would make this big old, like, ocean, like it's kind of like a small lake, and they can't swim. And they wouldn't even bother, like, trying to go to the water. I raised a little island of, like, shame. And, like, I put a park bench and a concession stand in the bathroom. And I put the concession stand and bathroom prices at $99.99. So they didn't want to use them, and they never would. And so anybody who would complain about my theme park, I would just put them on this island, and they would just wander around, and they would go to the store and realize they didn't want to buy anything, and they would sit on the park bench and they would be sad, and then they would go to the bathroom because they'd have to use it, but they don't want to buy their way in, and they would just sit on the park bench, and then eventually I drowned them. I'm like, wow, thinking back, that was actually pretty evil, but I spent hours playing that damn game, and not even like playing the theme park aspect of it, just like
that's great.
Holding a fucking magnifying lens over these little fucking ant people.
Speaking of ant people, did you ever play Simant?
No, I didn't.
Oh, God,
why am I the only one that has played this game?
Sim Ant? I haven't even
Yeah,
heard
it
of it.
was on Super Nintendo and on the PC at the time. It was you literally started off as the queen of an anthill, and then you became a leader of your ants, and then you would first take over the evil ants, the red ants area in that same little corner spot of the yard, and then you would slowly take over the entire yard, and then you would go into the house and take over the house, and then you would kick out the humans.
Wow.
And that's how you won the game. You made them put up a for sale sign. That was it.
That's pretty boss. Ants taking over the house. Next level the world.
What was even more fun was every Thursday there would be a lawnmower, and if you were above ground with a lawnmower, it would just kill everybody.
I like games where it's like you play as a miniature thing in Human's World, and you see everything that's really big.
So did you ever play the Mosquito game?
No.
Oh, Mr. Mosquito for the PS2? I didn't play that, but...
I heard about it.
Yeah, did you see what the Toonami review?
No.
Tom on Toonami did a review for Mr. Mosquito, and that's how I got my exposure to that. And he did a review for, was it Elder Scrolls Morrowind? Yeah.
I seen that.
Yeah. Did you play Katamari Damacy?
No.
Yeah, that was another one where you're playing a little guy walking around the room and like rolling things up into a giant ball, just like random knickknacks. Like he'd be rolling, say, this beer bottle and glass, and then before you know it, you're picking up people on this giant ball,
and
then buildings on this giant ball.
I
And
think I've
spoilers,
seen that.
yeah,
I think I've seen it.
it's pretty awesome.
I've played the games I played like that are Buckle Bumble. If you remember that. I played as a bee, Buckle Bumble. It was on the Nintendo 64.
I do.
Had a really catchy intro.
Oh God, what was that? What was that
Katamari
one?
Damacy OST.
And then I played Revolt, which is you play as little RC remote control cars and you're racing. And that's always been my favorite. That one.
God, what was that one game on the 64? I think it was where you used a truck to smash into buildings, like destroy the buildings so that a nuke didn't go off.
I have no clue.
Nope. I don't know.
I hadn't even heard something like that.
So what?
It's one of the first games that came out on it.
Is there any indie games you're looking forward to? Like, is there any that you know of ahead of time that you're looking forward to?
Most indie games I just find out the day of and
Or
download it.
Into, even Nidhogg and
Like Mountain.
into.
There are these two games that are indie games that I'm really looking forward to, and one's called what's it called? Hover. Revolt of Gamers.
Hover?
Hover.
You're not talking about like the old Capture the Flag cover for Windows 95? No. Okay.
No, it's called Hover. Subtitle: Revolt of Gamers, and it's basically like a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. So, but instead of having roller skates, you have little hover shoes, I suppose.
Oh, look at that! Kerbal Space Program's 40% off.
Nice.
Making it what?
$17.99.
Huh.
$17.99. $3.50.
I'm trying to think of this Space Star Conflict is the next indie game that I'm looking forward to. It's an MMO where it's like Eve, but indie.
Okay. So it's in space.
Yeah.
You have a ship.
You own a ship and you complete trade runs. Kind of like Arcade. But your ship can be anywhere from a very, very, very large ship to a tiny, tiny, tiny ship.
Peggy 12.
Let's see, I'm not sure if it counts as indie, but Hotline Miami 2. I played the shit out of Hotline Miami, but that got like
What is that?
console releases. Hotline Miami was this like kind of retro styles above the head. I don't know, murder simulator. It was like it was this crazy, like, I guess kind of like an above the head shooter, but also like melee. Like you play as this guy who's like a contract killer, and you have to go into a room and like you kind of like get to see the layout of the floor you're on. It's just above your head, and like you burst into a room and kill everybody in there, and like you have a bunch of weapons at your disposal. You can steal their guns, or come in with a gun, or a knife, or a sword, or a bat, or just a bunch of random things. And yeah, you just like you kill everybody on the floor, then you move on to the next floor until you're done killing everybody in the building, and that'll be the end of the level.
So it's a simulator for serial killers.
Yeah, basically, it is really fucking brutal. Like you're a contract killer, but you don't really know
why you're doing these killings, and like you can tell that some people you're killing have like gang affiliations, but like there's this one part where you get arrested by the police, and like this one guy kills this girl that you are affiliated with, and so you burst into the police station to find out information on him because he's inside of the holding cell, and you basically kill like an entire police station.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty fucking brutal game.
That is like the original Terminator.
Yeah.
Not the game, maybe. That's what he does. He goes to the police station and just kills everybody.
Yeah. And you have to finish these people off. And the crazy is, like, if you knock them around and they're not dead, like, you have to kill everyone. Like, leave no one behind. You can't knock them out. And so if somebody just gets knocked onto the ground or against a wall, you have to finish them off.
Wow.
And so, like...
By doing what?
Like, if you don't have a weapon in your hand, like, if you knock somebody on the ground, you will reach over them and bash their head into the ground until they're dead.
That's violent.
Or, like, if they're on a wall... it's finished off as
it
like,
was 8-bit graphics, so it
Yeah.
wasn't too terrible.
But it is. It is blood.
And it
everywhere.
is pretty terrible because that's what you're doing.
Yeah. You'll kick a guy's face in, or like if you have a katana, you'll like, you know, cut their head in half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not even beheading.
Yeah.
The head's in half.
No, yeah, not even beheading. Like you'll just straight, you know, head on. Like it's a fucking brutal game. But it's so fun. It's so fast paced, and if you take one hit, you're dead. So it's kind of like a puzzle where like you have to make sure that you don't get one lucky hit on you. And every time you run into a room, you can't even take a grazing blow, or you're down unless you have like a special ability involved where you're able to take the hit. Like you just have to run in, like rush in, kill everybody in like in a matter of seconds, and then keep on moving on. And it gets pretty insane. Like you clear a room and you get the feeling of being like such a badass, like an insane motherfucker, of course, but a badass that just like runs in, throws a knife at somebody, punches somebody in the face, and then bashes their head in until they're dead. And then somebody else hears the noise and runs in, so you steal their gun and you start shooting at the door, and they're all dead, and it's like ah.
So this is on the top-down view.
Yeah, and it's like tricked out graphics too, with like kind of 80s inspired, like sort of chiptunish for like I don't know. Like retro kind of music. Like, have you seen Drive? The movie Drive? No. It was inspired a bit off of that movie and its aesthetic, just like I don't know, kind of neon lights and chipped out and like I don't know, kind of like a synth pop rockish sort of soundtrack. I would highly suggest it. I'm waiting for the sequel.
Yeah.
Hotline Miami 2 is on the way.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
It's really close to being done, actually.
Yeah.
I also want to play Papers, Please.
Oh yeah, I've seen a bit of that.
That one is a weird one.
But
that's a
been
very
released,
different.
Haven't it?
Huh?
Papers, Please has been released, yeah.
Yeah, it's out, and you can normally get it at a discounted rate. Discounted.
Of course. Yeah.
So can I tell you what Hover is about?
Sure.
It's very interesting. So, okay, like I was saying, instead of roller skates in the future, you have hover skates, or whatever. And it's kind of like Jet Set Radio, but it's more aimed at being a multiplayer game. So you're in an open city, and you can travel about, and there's supposed to be other players with you. And the whole concept of the game is the government has outlawed video games. That's why it's called Revolt of Gamers. And your mission is to go out and retrieve consoles and video games back through the underground. And you're also given spray paint, and they said there will be spray paint in the game.
Does the spray paint like come into play, or is it just?
I don't think it comes into play. I think it's more for fun.
Sure.
The things that comes into play is like doing tricks, which I don't know how that gets games.
Right.
It's supposed to do a lot of tricks.
You can't just get the game to look stylish.
You do missions. You have to be stylish. I think you can create your own character, as well as customize pre-made characters. You can play either third-person or first-person view, depending on however you want. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's a small development team in France, which is 4 people making it, or 3 people. And I think it's gonna be a long time, but that's because I really like Jet Set Radio, and I'm sad that it's not existing anymore.
True.
They're also
I
announced.
played a little bit of Future and
Yeah.
actually a little bit of Jet Set Radio, but didn't complete either
You
of
didn't
them.
complete it.
Yeah.
You
Love the
get-
soundtracks though.
You didn't get to the final boss, which is a evil DJ
No.
that you have to grind to
No.
to stop him from DJing. That's great. What was I about? Oh, so. Well, I completely lost my thought.
There was there's Hover and some other indie game you were looking out for.
Yes, Distance.
Hmm.
There's a racing game, and I'm interested in that because I don't have racing games to be interested in anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like every racing game that comes out now is a simulator, and it hasn't. Those aren't my kind of racing games. Like, I miss
Like Gran Turismo. Gran
Yeah.
Turismo is
Like-
pretty simulator-ish.
like, even ones that aren't exactly simulators. They're not as exaggerated as I want them to be. Like Mario Kart is a good example of being a unique racing game in this day and age. And
Did you play that one Mario Kart-ish racing game? Like Neo had it. Where it looked like real racing
Yes.
cars, but
I forget the name of it.
yeah, do you remember? It's like a racing game that looked like Gran Turismo but played like Mario Kart.
I completely forget.
Vigilante 8?
No,
Nah,
no.
I forget.
That's a
It,
good
it
game,
had,
though.
it had a very simple name, and I
Yeah.
forget what it was.
Yeah, same.
Need for Speed?
No.
Oh, it was like one word.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know. It's like it started with an N. Oh. No, my favorite racing game from last generation was Split Second.
No.
If you know what that is.
I had heard about it. But
It is a racing game where you race through a city, and it's kind of like Burnout, where you earn a meter by avoiding obstacles and doing jumps and stuff. But you use the meter instead of boosting, you explode buildings in front of people, or make helicopters drop bombs on them, or what else? You can completely destroy a building and it will alter the track. So I was like, very fun. Like I feel like it was probably one of the most funs I had on Xbox when I was playing it. Yeah, I really wanted a sequel to that, and that didn't happen. So Distance is a racing game that's kind of like a throwback to Tron and Rush, 2049. If you ever played that on Dreamcast?
I have.
Yeah, I think you have, yeah. So it's like you play in a, I don't know where you're playing, but it looks like Tron. Like it's a completely black road with a lot of lights, and the lights are glowing to the beat of music. And you're in a car that is digital, like appears, and you have wings. And if you get in the air, you can fly anywhere you want. And that's just really fun. Like it's just not a realistic driving experience. And I miss those.
True.
Mm.
Did you play what is it, Smashing Drive? That like there's a racing game. It's like a taxi game, like Crazy Taxi, but it was Crazier Taxi. Like, and you would get
Out of his mind, taxi.
yeah, basically. And with each upgrade that you would get would just destroy shit. And, one would be like this giant mega horn that would just blast everything in front of you. So you get like these monster truck tires and be able to just drive over cars. And like you wouldn't lose any points by driving over a body. Like the whole point was just to get to the end faster. But yeah, I've never been too big into racing games, but I do like the fun ones like Mario Kart or Smashing Drive, where racing's just kind of part of it, and the other, part of the game, tripping everybody up. That's the real part of the game.
I feel like racing is at its best when it's pushing your adrenaline more, because that's like what racing is. You're going as fast as you can to be faster than the other person, and if they're not trying to wreck you or throw something at you or make you not go fast, and it's not really as exciting as it could be. If it's just a simulator where you're both going, I don't know, realistic miles per hour. I don't know.
Realistic miles per hour.
Like, what is it, 50, 60? Or whatever. And you're just by each other going. It's like, I don't know, it's not exciting to me. I need something happening.
What about those?
I need a turtle shell or friggin'.
What if they did a simulator where it did funny cars?
What?
Where in a quarter mile you get up to 300 miles an hour.
And you're just going really fast, but you're doing the same thing. You're going really fast.
That's the whole point. That's what I was just trying to say.
Yeah,
It's not just the issue is not just speed. It's they have to have something else to interact with the cars or interact with your car.
I kind of liked Initial D, playing that in arcades anyway. Just the whole drifting aspect being pretty important.
Mm.
But I sucked at that. But I thought it was kind of fun. Yeah, I thought I was terrible at it. Didn't play it too much.
You seem the where you'd want to have that as a game.
Yeah. Like if I picked it up.
But then that was super realistic too, though.
But Initial D?
Yeah.
No. Like some of them maybe more, but
So the newer ones are.
maybe the newer ones, but the old ones are super ridiculous with like the drifting mechanics just being silly. You know, arcade game, of course, really, appreciably silly. Like it was the game shtick. You could drift like a maniac, and that's all that Initial D's about.
You know what sucked is that the last F-Zero that came out I really liked, but I think there was a snaking mechanic that kind of ruined it in terms of actually competing with people. Like if you didn't do that.
You didn't really play F-Zero. It kind of falls into the actual kind of racing game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a fan of F-Zero? Doesn't that kind of I mean, is there really much interaction in F-Zero?
Yeah.
It's just racing.
It's a futuristic racing game. You race with a hoverboard or a hovercraft, and you bump other cars.
Is there a lot of bumping?
There's a lot of bumping.
Lots of bumping.
You have to avoid obstacles in the track to not lose your health and regain health through going to strips, going through loopy-loops.
You do. Some of them you can jump, some of them you don't.
Yeah. I like the ones we jump. Like I think there needs to be a new F-Zero. Weird do. Would that make you get a Wiiu? Or you're not a
F-Zero? Yeah. Not a fan. Play a little.
The best part of never mind. That's good. The two best parts of any F-Zero is the speed and
gotta go fast.
The music.
Gotta race. And the music. Music's important, but I don't think it's the second most part. I think the going fast and track design and like overall how you like what is the way you interact with the game. Like just going fast and hitting enemies is good, but you need a little bit more. Like actually maneuvering the track is important.
Oh, that's what they did in the last in this Mario Kart. Was they made it so that the way that you maneuver the track gave you the best advantage to winning.
I have played it once, but I have not picked up on that. Yeah, I wasn't really paying too much attention. Yeah, I don't know if I'll get Mario Kart because I just don't have. Like I was saying earlier, I don't have that nostalgia of it. I didn't grow up with it. I can appreciate it's a good game, but
I'll play a little bit of it.
If they threw some Sega characters in there,
Sega's got its own little racing game thing now, though.
Yeah, but I don't want to play that because I know it's not as good as Mario Kart. But I don't want to play Mario Kart because it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
This has been the host of Hostess with Vicious,
Louka,
and Ernest,
talking about a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah. Please feel free to give us feedback. I know this first episode's been long, but we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah. You made it all the way here. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Some topic suggestions would be great, of course.
I have plenty of topics, but it's hard to get to them.
And yes, I actually would like to talk about just about anything. I'm not just here to talk about video games. So,
Poop is
I could actually
good for the environment.
Yeah.
No, it's not good for the environment.
It depends on the poop.
Yes.
Anyway.
We'll leave that for you guys to ask.
Yeah. Anyway, Thanks for tuning in.
Hold on. You can find you where?
You can find me in Steam and Steam and Skype with Vicious Sire. Vicious with a C-I-R-E, and Dustin Jansen is my Facebook. And
what's the Hostess YouTube page name?
oh yeah,
It's gonna be.
it's called Hostess Crew.
That's the name of our YouTube channel.
Is the name of our YouTube channel.
And it will probably be the name of our Twitch channel.
And we are probably going to... Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Your turn.
So you can find me at SolarSonic on Xbox and SolarSonic SOS on Wii U. That's all I got right now. I don't have Steam.
And you want to find me, Google Bakasai. Just B-A-K-A-S-A-I. You'll find me.
You're the only one?
I'm the only one that matters.
Alright. Have a good night.
Hostess.
Hostess?
Hostess.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jimmy B. And I'm a surefire, full-blooded, bonafide, house rockin' jam on production MC. If you want the best, then put me to the test, and I'm sure you'll soon agree that I got no flaws, cause I'm down by law when it comes to rockin' viciously, you see. Cause of when I was a little baby boy, my mama gave me a brand new toy. 2 turntables with a mic, and I learned to rock like a Dolomite. Time went by on this God creation. I knew someday I would rock the nation, so I made up my mind just what to do, and I joined with the Jam On production crew. So go crazy, don't let your body be lazy. I said don't stop the body rock till your eyesight starts to get hazy. Clean out your ears and you open your eye. If you want to hear the music, just come alive. If you don't know how, get ready to learn, cause Cosmo's taking his turn to burn.
Take the C and O in the Z, then you add M-O and the freaking D, add a funky beat, and then what do you see? It's Cosmo D, yeah baby, that's me. I've got the beat, that's oh so sweet. Without me rocking it's incomplete. So rock this yo, rock that yo, rock on and don't you dare stop. You rock this, rock that, and that's a fact. Cause the Jam On crew will rock your body right back. Rock a steam locomotive right off the track, and the whole wide world of funk attack. To the beat, yo, get down. Let me rock it to the rhythm of the funky sound. From hill to hill, from Z to Z, and when Jam On's rocking, everybody screams. I jam on it, jam on and on and on it. And if you're feeling like you wanna dance on that, then go on ahead and blow it. Cause jamming on is what we do best. It's what separates us from the rest. And if you don't think our crew's down for real, let me tell you what happened to the man of steel.
A Superman had come to town to see who he could rock. He blew away every crew he faced until he reached our block. His speakers were 3 stories high with woofers made of steel. And when we bought our set outside, he said,
Hot pretty real. He said I'm faster than a speeding bullet. And when I'm on the set, I don't need no fans to cool my ass. I just use my super breath. I can fly 3 times around the world without missing a beat. I socialize with X-ray eyes and ladies looking sweet.
and then he turned his power on and the ground began to move. And all the buildings for miles around were swaying to the groove. And just when he had pulled the crowd and swore he won the fight,
We rock this dirt with a 12-inch cut called Disco Kryptonite. My Superman looked up at me, he said you rock so naturally. I said now that you've learned the deal, let me tell you why I'm so for real. I'm Cosmo D from outer space. I can do rock the human race. I do it right cause I can't do it wrong. That's why the whole world is singing this song.
jam on it.
I jam on it. I say jam on it. And day turns to night and night turns to day. Whatever time it is, I wanna hear you say
Jam on it.
I jam on it. I say jam on my mama, jam on it. Jam all around and upside down. I keep jamming to the Jam On production sound.
Jam on it.
Jam on it. I said jam on it. I said jam on is the funky beat that takes control with the short sharp boogie that'll rock your soul.
Jam on it.
Jam on it. I said jam on it. Get out of your seat and jam to the beat, and don't you dare stop your early morning.
Jam on it.
Jam